Hi, Kristaps. Nice to meet you. Welcome, and I really look forward to look with you at these two quite different pieces. I told you I didn't know these preludes, and thank you for sending the music. And maybe you just start with now playing through number 3, 4, and 5 for me, and then I will try to give some comment on that, and then later we do Dvorak. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Kristaps.
I can't hear you.
Well done. You can't hear me? Oh, you lost your earphone. Okay.
Mijn ijs is moe kost.
I think it fell somewhere. Could you find it?
Yeah.
Great.
No, I
Okay.
can't hear you.
Wonderful. Yeah,
Yeah.
these things are not made for cello playing, I think. Yeah.
No, not at
Okay.
all.
So, very well done. Great. I have a few tips for you and a few things I want to discuss with you. So, in the first piece, you see it says Collegno, and I think you have chosen to do pa-pa-pa-pa-pam just on the spot, as it were. So, for me, at least here in Amsterdam, I have a feeling you could have been just a little bit stronger, because if you would play this in a bigger hall, I think you need to make sure that the audience really hears enough sound. Now, I'm not sure, do you only use the wood or do you use a little bit of hair as well?
I think I want to use wood, but sometimes I touch hair too. So
Yes. So in a way, I would suggest that you make a mixture of wood and hair, and that you don't only play vertical, this, but really small up and down bows. I would think that that gives you a little bit more sonority. Could you just try? Yeah.
that sounds already better.
Yeah, because I think it's a bit asking too much if you just only, because if you are on the spot with the wood, we will also hear the sonority of the wood ticking to the string, which gives a different pitch, actually.
Yes.
Yeah, so I think we just need a little bit more of the real pitch, and you can achieve it by using a little hair and actually using your bow down and up. Very small, of course. Have fun with that, because it's kind of a humoristic thing, isn't it?
Yeah, it could be. Yeah.
I mean, the character could be, I would describe as scherzando, something like that. And then, of course, also that the pizzicato really speaks well. So, in a way, I would make a little bit more show with your pizzicato, show in the good sense, that, you know, for the first, that you use a little bit more movement and not just, then you sort of present only a secret and we don't understand it. Yeah? So would you mind just play the first lines once more with a little bit more sound and with a little bit more motion in your, so not static, but with a feeling of scherzando. You see the first one, that first pizzicato, make sure that it's really clear. A little stronger. It doesn't say pianissimo misterioso, you see? So the piano can be very, like a flute, like a little flute. Yeah.
Okay.
Just one more time. So make sure that the first pizzicato after the collegno is really clear. Very good. That's much better. That's much better. Great. And when you then have this, so here he gives us a dynamic nuance, and you did very well. But again, for the pizzicato, try to be free in your arm, like, so that this arm, as if you would use the bow. So it means that you don't just pitch with your finger, but with your arm. This idea. Could you try that? So imagine the first pizzicato like a down bow, this direction, not up, but sideways. This motion rather than going just up.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I mean. Yeah,
I'm not used
much
to
better. And with the vibrato, a little vibrato to enhance the sonority, but if you do too much, that would be, you probably don't want that. So a tiny bit of vibrato just to make the sonority more speaking. Yeah, and also, you know, with the pizzicato, it makes a huge difference where you place it. So if you want to be really soft, you would be here, but in this case, I would place it basically where the fingerboard stops, that you pitch here. I think it will be clearer. Try it. Much better. This is perfect. This is perfect. Here in Amsterdam at least. Yeah, great, wonderful. So that was my only comment, was to increase a little bit the volume without changing the character, but to just make sure that whatever you do, you share with your audience, that it's not only for your own ears, but for the ears somewhere a bit further away, that everybody can understand. Okay, now the second one, number 4. I have a feeling that, you see, you play forte, that's good, and of course, would you agree that the second bar and the third bar, the second and the fourth bar, they are up bows, but actually you want to make them sound as good as if they are down bows, is that right?
Yes.
Yeah. Could you once actually play only, and then, so play once only down bows, and try to learn from that later on for your up bows. But just play 4 times down bow. So that they feel really comfortable for you. And make sure that the 16th doesn't sound like a grace note, but really la ta 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 ti 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 babi yara. So in a way, you should probably play the second note also with clearly articulated, rather than then we don't hear enough of it. But ta-da, 2 notes, yeah. That's great, that's great. Now, you remember this? Could you now do just that bar? Starting up. Right, one more time. Think of the 2 ta-da, so not ta-da, but ti-di. Yeah. Yes. Okay, so when you do it without the down bow before, this sound needs a certain preparation in your arm. And that preparation you should look for when you do, and then, and I think what you are doing is, so you don't give yourself enough room for that motion. So try to prepare the up bow at the end of the down bow here. You see that you have a feeling of coming from there rather than, yeah. So I'm looking for a better preparatory motion. Yeah, Okay. That's very good. Did you feel comfortable?
I understood what you meant, but not yet. But that's my problem. I'm not used to it.
I think it's not just your problem. I think it's a problem for every cellist.
Okay.
You see? So it's this preparation. Do you go to the second finger?
Yeah, I'm playing with the second finger.
Because you are on 2. Do once only the E flat and then the F, that you feel really comfortable.
So,
Just only the E flat.
okay.
And the note before, and then that's better. You know what is better? Is your timing of your left hand. The timing of that motion, you are on 2, and then you prepare, and then this motion needs to be synchronized with your bow. So, one more time. That's good. One more, just that you feel comfortable. And again, da-da. Yes. Good, good. So when you practice it again, you have to be aware that the left hand, who has to change positions, you need to give it a natural timing which suits to your phrase and to your tempo. So don't completely unlock it. So in a way, let the bow decide when the left hand should move. Okay. And now I have a question, because you played very successfully, I thought. But I had a feeling that you would have wanted to be even safer with your big shifts. Is that right?
Of course, yeah.
Yes. Okay, so tell me, what is the first one? Is of course going from. Is that one? That's the. Oh no, there's one before. Sorry. This one.
Yes.
Yeah. So, do you play 3/3? Do you play 3 on B flat?
Yes.
Yeah. Could you once do it slowly?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm a little worried, Kristaps. I'm worried because I see your finger single on the string, and I have a feeling you would profit so much more if you would keep the feeling of your hand being closed. So, you see when you go up, this, rather than, yeah, so, and you see, you might not want a huge glissando in the end, but you should definitely practice it with a glissando, meaning ask yourself to connect with your bow this that you once have experienced, because that can give you security later on for the big jump. So I think a lot has to do with that. While you shift, you keep your fingers down and you keep the contact with the fingerboard, left hand, but also with the bow. So, and you might wonder, you see, we have with big shifts, we always have this choice whether we shift in the old bow, so meaning this, or in the new bow, this. Or there's a third possibility, is to shift exactly with the bow change. This idea. And I think that you have not yet explored. Yeah, I'm not sure. If I'm mistaken, you tell me, okay? But could you once play with a real glissando? So a slow glissando going up. Yes, but glissando in the up bow. So okay, now improve the timing. So a little bit less time. So let's say you practice this motion, but practice it with a certain feeling of pulse. So, tee-da-da. Try. Yes, and make sure that the bow stays in contact with the string, as if you play. And then. Good. Watch your hand.
Yes.
No, all your other fingers are up in the air. Put them on the string. Like 1, 2, 3. You see, like this. Coming.
Yeah.
It's getting better, Kristaps.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
Yeah, you're approaching, absolutely. So really these two things, let's say, practice it with the sound connection so that you hear the whole way, that your ear is in control. Because the problem is, I think, that you will always feel a little unsettled if you haven't felt this connection. So in other words, you make a kind of ugly slide, and later when you feel comfortable with that, you leave out what you don't want to hear. But it's always better to be really brave with these shifts rather than starting a bit too careful, and then you have to repair something which isn't quite right. Okay, so that I had a feeling that you needed a little help with that. That was my intention now. And I have one more thing. I personally find this very awkward, this, maybe you as well. This one. Why don't you play? You could play 3-2 and go over the string. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
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 I think, unless you are a champion with vibrating on your thumb, but
No.
if you, yeah, I personally feel very uncomfortable with that. So I would advise to do, over the string. Yeah. Okay, that's that. And now the last one. There I had a feeling, there are two things. I felt that you are less comfortable with playing softly than you are when you play full power.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah, and I think that is also something which is not abnormal. Yeah, I think it's a little bit a psychological thing. Let's say when you play full power, what is so nice about it is that you basically release the weight of your arm into the string. So you know that you can use the full arm weight, which is a kind of, it's a downward motion, and you, in a way, you make use of gravity, isn't it? So your arm is anyway heavy, and you just let it go into the string. Now, I just want to encourage you to have a similar feeling of downward motion and going into the string, also when you play piano or pianissimo. So that it's not like that while you play softly, you are lifting your sound out of the string, but that you just have a more tender approach to your string. And you can easily exercise that for yourself. Let's take the first example. Is this, when you have a real pianissimo, is this this moment, isn't it? That's the first. Oh no, sorry, it's already in the beginning. Yeah. So this. Could you once play for me 8 gradations of dynamic? You play. That was fortissimo. Then you play forte. Then you play mezzo. Then you play piano. And then you play pianissimo. And then you play triple or something. But all these times that you play, you demand from yourself to have a similar feeling of relief when you are on the string. It's just not that you allow the whole weight in for the pianissimo. So this, and then a bit less, and a little less, and even less. But always this feeling of downward motion. That's what I'm looking for. That's great. Yes, yes. And you would agree, I'm sure you would agree that if you want the bow to feel really comfortable, and if you want, then you are more comfortable, you have to choose the right spot here. Let's say if you try to play forte and you play too far here, it will crack. It won't do it. But if you are really down, and I think so often when we play piano, we think that we should go more towards the fingerboard. But then in a bow like this, I think even when you are very soft, you should let your bow travel to the right spot, which is maybe here. Could you once do this exercise, like start with no sound, and you let the bow slowly go to the right contact point until you have a very soft but focused sound. Let the bow travel down, 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 until, yes. So it should feel a little bit as if you are, you know, waiting for the bus and you lean against the wall or something to relax. So the bow should really lean against the contact point. So very soft, this is not a good sound, but you let the bow travel, 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 travel. And then here, at a certain stage, then you know that's where you should be. Try one more. And make it beautiful. Very soft, but yes, great. Yeah, that's nice. Yeah, you know, when we play the cello, when we learn new pieces, the first thing which disturbs us is if our left hand is not accurate. Because the first thing you hear, okay, that's a wrong note, or it's not in tune, or I don't connect nicely. So we have to organize this. That's true. But I think straight after, you also have to, in a way, be very aware of what the bow needs to do to bring out what you want to express, and to start to feel really comfortable with using your bow also. And you know, this is the crazy thing when you are a string player. We do two completely different things at the same time. And this is, and I think when we perform, I think we should basically be always busy with the bow. Our concentration and our focus should be on what the bow does. Yeah. And I think, sorry, the last thing I say about these pieces, because I'm aware we want to go to Dvořák also. I didn't quite understand this, you know, these gestures. They sort of, to me, come completely unprepared. So like a kind of a sudden inspiration coming from somewhere else, completely somewhere else. Just make sure whenever we are really soft and quick, that you are still, that it's really quite clear. And I was not sure, did you play that somewhere here?
I tried to play it here, but...
I think it's good in the lower half.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. Do it once. Would you mind playing once? Just once the same note? Yes, that's good. And now. That's better. That's better. Yeah. So, and the next one. Or, yeah. And the last one. Yeah, that's better. That's better. And so just make sure that they were not so clear when you played them through.
Yes.
Yeah. Now, as we have been experimenting a little bit with the bow, I think this is a very good moment to move to the Dvořák slow movement.
Yes.
Yeah? Okay. By the way, look, I'm talking a lot. If you have any questions, just put them, okay?
Okay, thank you. Would you like to start from the beginning, or?
Yes, maybe it's a good idea if you play, maybe, do you have figure 4?
Meno tempo primo.
Exactly that one. So, maybe you play until there. Yeah, is that okay?
Yes. Can I play from this?
No, just from the beginning until there.
Ah, sorry. Yeah.
Yeah.
I will.
Yeah. So I don't interrupt you for a while.
Okay, thank you.
Well done.
Thank you.
Tell me, could you, I'm not sure, you know, you are really very involved when you play, and it seems as if you are talking to us, which is a very good quality to have. Now, if you want to improve certain things, then you also need to be able to take a little distance to your own playing and to sort of try to figure out what isn't yet quite okay. And then you find out what is the reason. You know, you have to, how can I say, you have to develop an honest relationship with your own playing. And you see, we have very high goals, which we are all the time, we are sort of climbing and trying to achieve something which is even more beautiful than we have done before. Now, while you played this passage, are there some bars where you really think, here I feel totally comfortable?
Maybe in this, but only in few notes.
Tell me exactly, because you see what you know, as a teacher, I'm very much interested. Of course, I'm used to listen and to, in a way, while a student is playing for me, I compare the playing which I hear with something which is either in my mind or something which I might do, that's possible, and then I give some critique. And I always, one game I play with myself, if I don't quite know how to be helpful, I think, okay, if I would hear this on the radio, would I then think, you know, this game, maybe you do that also sometimes, that you wonder who is actually playing. And, you know, you want to go to a level that people won't notice whether it's Kristaps or whether it's Yo-Yo-Ma, basically. You know, this is what we strive for. That we don't notice that a young, relatively unexperienced player is playing. And then it's interesting to find out, so what is actually the difference between doing something really well and nearly well? Because so often, I think we are very close to something which is really good. Now, you said, I'm happy with some notes. Could you tell me, because what I think what's more important for you is to know what is different when something really feels right for you, and to try to learn from these moments for the moments where you still feel a little insecure, you see? So here, by the way, I didn't tune to your cello, I'm sorry. It might not be exactly the same, but I'm sure you noticed. Would you mind play that passage once more and just tell me a little bit where you feel really comfortable or where you don't? Mm-hmm. Yeah, very well done. You lost your ear again, I think.
Sorry?
Yeah.
So...
very well done. Yeah.
Most comfortable I felt in the first 3.5 bars.
Yes.
And then the melody goes out of my safe space.
Yes.
The comfortable space, and yeah, from the this part is already not so comfortable.
Yeah, but I have to say, just now, when you were not performing, but when you were just showing, when you said this place, you actually achieved very well. Look, you have to find out whether the reason is that you need to change your fingering. I have a feeling it's good what you do for your hand. I personally would not choose to do, because for my hand this is really far. So I do, that's my choice because I have a relatively small hand. But I have a feeling for your hand is good. Now, would you mind doing once only this, the end of it, meaning just from there, from the top B. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So after the top B, you have to play the first finger. Now, your first finger is quite much up in the air. How about to have the first finger closer? Yeah. Mm-hmm. And tell me, do you shift at all between B flat and F?
A little bit.
A little bit. And do you then shift with your first finger or your third finger?
First.
First, okay. Could you do with your third finger? Yeah. Do it once down bow. That's better. Yeah, so I think for one or the other reason, that probably is your insecurity, isn't it?
Actually, yes.
This way back, because this is okay. But, so here, try to shift this little bit. For you, it's only a small step. Probably to the A, but shift with the third finger rather than the first one. That's it. That's better. That's better. Okay, so in a way you have to be like your own detective, you know, Sherlock Holmes about cello playing. Yeah. And when you feel something isn't quite comfortable as playing in one position, you have to sort these things out for yourself slowly, and then you will quickly improve, because I think something which feels comfortable always sticks better to your memory than feeling uncomfortable, because usually there are kind of 100 ways to feel uncomfortable and just one way which is comfortable. Yes. Yes. Okay. So start once more the beginning, because I want to make one more point. Could you, for me, I have a feeling that your bowing in the beginning isn't quite serving you, and I tell you where I notice it's at the end when you do. There, I have a feeling you should rather be. That would be a more natural way. So you could do. And this one. So maybe you shouldn't change the bow here. So. And then. I have a feeling it would be nice to be down bow on this B natural.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe you try. But what I actually wanted to do is to increase your awareness for what the bow needs to be doing in this phrase. Now, if you look at the beginning, we have a quarter note, then we have a half note, then we have a quarter note, then we have like 3/8 notes, 1 quarter note, 2 quarter notes, 2 quarter notes. So, I would like you to do once on one note what your bow is doing during this opening phrase. So you think the phrase, but you play. Yeah. So, you are smiling because is it something that you have already worked on with your teacher?
No, it sounds interesting. Actually, the thing you said about this inspecting yourself, that's the thing that my teacher exactly says about me, that I have to listen what I'm doing.
Right, sure. We all have to. It's, you know, I always explain it like this. I have two ways of explaining. I sometimes, usually when we learn something, we are very busy with playing. And then, you know, we are so busy that the listening is maybe 20% and the playing is 80%. And you have to make sure that in the end, it's the other way around. That basically while you play, you are mainly listening to yourself as if somebody else is playing. And the other thing about practicing a story which I really love to tell, which is maybe sounds stupid, but I sometimes think when we play successfully, there are so many aspects which need to be right. You know, we have the intonation, we have the rhythm, we have the shifts, the string crossings, the vibrato, you know, all these things, and we have a musical phrasing. And it looks to me like a recipe for a very beautiful cake we want to make. And I think when we practice, we need to be very inefficient with this, in a sense that we need sugar and butter and flour and eggs and everything. And I always think, okay, you take the first thing, the sugar, you go to the shop, you get it, and you come back. And you say, what else do I need? You get the butter. And what else? And this is the strange thing, that we need to sometimes single out certain aspects and to make sure that we don't have to think of them while we do it. Because if there are like 4 problems at the same time, then we will hear that something isn't quite right. And so at the moment, I'm wanting to single out with you what the bow is doing exactly. So the consequence of these different values, it's not a big deal, because we have just quarter notes and sometimes 2 beats and 1 beat. That's basically it. And then there's this one exception. But it, of course, it results in 2 different bow speeds. Would you agree with that? So you have a bow speed which is for the quarter note, and then yeah, but we shouldn't be doing, and then suddenly, oh God, we need a bit more bow. Yeah, so slow. Would you mind to do it just on one note, just to get a feel that these 2 different bow speeds, that they are naturally connected? That's very nice, but you feel that it's actually quite different.
It's, yeah.
And it takes an effort to not be surprised by these changes.
Yes.
So to actually anticipate the changes also, because in the end we don't want quick, slow, but we want quick and then getting slow, and then slow is getting quick again. So that at the end of your bow, be it down bow or up bow, you are preparing the new bow speed. Do it one more time. I think it's really worthwhile. Great. Okay, Lovely. Now play the tune. In this one, I want to, you know, when you, this moment, it's a little breath in a way, this rest. It's like breathing. And this breath, you can illustrate it with your bow. You do, but not, then breath. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no problem. It's not wrong, but it's just here. And then maybe go to 1 or something. I think that's maybe the easiest. Or 2. It doesn't really matter what you do here, but I even use 3 because I like 3. I do that sometimes rather than 4 is also possible. Mm-hmm. One last time.
Yeah.
It's gone. And then, so here, so. That's good.
Yes.
Well done. Yeah, okay, good. And I have one last request, because I'm still wanting you to even be more aware of what your bow is doing. Now, could you imagine the following picture? You are now losing this thing. Yeah? Now okay. Imagine you have dropped it on the floor, but imagine you are in a dark room, and the only thing you have got is a torch. You know a torch?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, it's a torch. So you're going in this room and you know it's somewhere lying on the ground, but I don't know where. And you are with the beam of the torch and you're just following the light, and you are expecting this small thing to be somewhere on the floor.
Yes.
And with that feeling, actually, with the similar feeling, I want you to be with your bow on the string. As if your bow is this beam, the hairs is the beam, the light actually, which makes everything very clear. And not too light. Yeah. Okay. So really follow every millimeter here. You could also subdivide for yourself the value. Instead of a quarter note, you start doing very small elements like ya pa 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 da da, maybe 16th or even 32nd, so that you think ya la 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 ya da 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 da, so that every moment while you are on the string you are controlling. Try once.
Still, there are these. It's not so good. Yeah, now I understand.
Yeah, but I have a feeling that your concentration was so much more with the bow, And that I really absolutely liked and definitely preferred to your earlier versions. Only the few imperfections of your left hand, they disturb you now. So it's this. I always have this golden rule. When I can stretch, then I do stretch, but I never combine a stretch with a shift. If you have to shift, you just shift. But then you should forget about the stretch. But with your hand, I think you can stretch. Play once down bow. One more. And how would it be if for the moment of the G, you see you stretch to get to the G, then you would just relax your hand for a moment. Yeah, but then the stretching back between. Yes. That's better. And now up bow. Good, Kristaps. That's better. So that one has to be really, it's uncomfortable and you have to make it comfortable. And after a few years, you might decide to do 1-4-4 is a possibility. But then is the next problem, you see? So it's one of those things you have to just pay extra attention to. And don't worry about the end, you can just use the open string. It's actually very nice if it's in tune, the G string. Yeah.
Of course.
Okay. All right. So let me just see, because I want to do one more thing with you. Would you mind to play once more just the 16ths now, which are coming? I'm looking for something which, when you played them, this I had a feeling as if you were kind of counting. You know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, it's 7 notes. And could you try to give this a really melodic shape, as if you are playing, I don't know, bass clarinet or something? This feeling of, could you tell me when you play, so you have a few string crossings, so between, that should be very round. Also, what I do quite consciously is I try to concentrate on the note before the string crossing. So in other words, here, the C, that it doesn't sound like, but yeah, right. Good. And now think of it more as a connection of sound. So you start with this sound, then the next one, and then, you see, you always add one note without losing that feeling of natural motion in your arm. Yes, good. Aha, nice. I like it. Good, Kristaps. Very nice. And use the vibrato. It's in this passage. It's for you with your fingering. It's usually on the fourth finger. So 4. So use the vibrato to help you through the string crossings. Yeah, and make it a little bit flourish a little bit more with the crescendo. So make a bigger gesture. Yeah. Bravo. One more. That's good. That's very good. Yeah. Look, I can feel that sometimes, I mean, you are critical with yourself. Now, I don't want you to get frustrated, but I want you to have the attitude as if you play a game with yourself, with your own, you know, your hands have to do it. They have to get used to do what you want in your musical mind. So I have a feeling that you can explore more with your practice, not demanding from yourself to do it right in one go, but just say, okay, let's do the end, for example. I think you are uppo, yeah? To just say, okay, small element, but I want to be really free with that. Play once the end, just this. Is this your bowing? Don't you start down?
Sorry, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Exactly. Are you pleased?
I could do better.
What exactly better?
I had this feeling that doesn't have this sound quality just
sound
like
quality. Yes.
Yeah.
So this the first note, second, and when you come back to the G, do one more time. Yeah, that's nice. That's nice. You look, when you do for the flageolet, you do a kind of, you sort of throw your hand a little bit. I think you can be more stable by doing, rather than, so not a light, but a stay. So try to be closer to the fingerboard. That's better. That's good. Now play before.
One more time.
No, that was much better.
Okay.
Yeah, of course you can do it many times, but yeah.
But it felt better.
Look, I just wanted to make sure that I give you the idea that the solutions for the problems which I have a feeling you are aware of them, which is the most important. You know, sometimes we play not so great and we don't notice. That's the worst. I remember once, I remember that when I was a student, I played once in an exam, And at that time, you didn't record everything, never. And I mean, nowadays the students are much more used to actually record themselves and to check and everything. But at that time, I did get a tape from a very easy piece for cello, which was the Flute Quartet of Mozart. And I was, I think, in my second semester or something. And I listened back to this tape, and all you have to do, and then, you know, these really simple notes. But I noticed they were totally not what I thought they were. And this was, for me, a kind of eye-opening thing that I thought, well, this is something I really have to do something about, that at least I notice myself when something isn't quite right. And then the next step is, are you prepared to do something about it? Can you think of solutions, or you have to ask your teacher? I mean, there's always a solution. I think there is not a reason why you wouldn't be able to play the cello on a very high level. It's just, it takes time, and it takes patience, and it takes you really a lot of motivation, especially nowadays with all this online stuff going on. Yeah, but I really think you are doing very well, and I had a feeling that you reacted very well to my suggestions. So bravo for that, and well done. And I wish you all the best for the future.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. Take care, Kristaps.
Thank you. You too,
Nice
actually.
to meet you. Nice to meet you, and nice to listen to you.
Thank you.
Well done.
Thank you.